Edo State Election Petition Tribunal is already sitting. Like we all know, the PDP is challenging the victory being given to the APC candidate. And we know in Nigeria, the outcome of Election Petition Tribunal, recently as we've seen, is never based on fact. It is based on who the power that being wants. So based on that, we all have lost hope in the judicial system. But I'm doing this video to leave a message here for the purpose of tomorrow. With information reaching me, although unconfirmed, from unconfirmed source, said that the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, might not interfere in the proceedings and may not want to influence the outcome, which I doubt, because the Jagaba I know, working hard to have a one-party system in Nigeria, earlier haven't promised Edo that is going to give them back APC when he becomes the president. I doubt if he will ever stay out of Election Petition Tribunal. But somebody is telling me that the president is under pressure from both local and international forces that he should stay neutral and let the proceeding goes. And if that happens, you and I know what the outcome of the tribunal will be. APC obviously didn't win the election, we know. Comrade Adams Aliyu Oshomole, our two-time former governor, knows what happened in the 3A Sako local government. We that were the voters that were on ground, we all knew exactly what happened on the field. I was a candidate, I was a supporter, and I voted for Labour Party. But I can tell you, from what happened on ground, there is 99.9% chances that the PDP won the election.
He don't do, Sha. He don't do, right? The guy had a long talk. But I got really exhausted, excuse me, at some point in that conversation. Especially when I don't know, I think at some point, the people of Nigeria, or Nigerians as it were, need to wake up to understanding how government work. It is undemocratic, right? And to say that the city president is being pressured not to interfere. See, no matter how long it has been done, no matter how long this thing has been in the office, it is undemocratic, it is wrong, it is criminal, it is wicked, it is evil. Because I will come to the understanding. I think we should begin to learn to criminalize what should be criminalized. Because when you say that he is being pressured, some people can even say he's not a good man. Are we supposed to be in a situation where there is somebody? You see that particular statue of that represents the law. It says it is blinded. If you see that there is a blindfold, that means that it is blinded to against any personality, irrespective of who you are, whether you are president, you are governor, you are a traditional ruler, you are a pastor, whoever you are in society, the law is blinded against you. So influencing shouldn't even be a position at all, right? And then it allows for equity. Everybody comes before it, equity. You see, the two hands are in the same position. Whatever is holding. So it means that all of us come before the law in a very equitable manner. We are all equal before the law. All equal. So you see, the chances of the sitting president before the law and the chances of a commoner is as the same. However, we are in a mess situation right now. And then I do not believe that the same president that rigged an election for a man will now at the court have a reason not to. So it's a forgotten issue. However, one of the reasons why I'm not championing this cause of forgetting it is that we are also teaching these politicians that they can do just anything and go away. There should be consequences of interfering in elections. There should also be consequences of interfering in the judicial process in any way. First, that kind of person, the first consequence is that kind of person should be labeled undemocratic, and anybody that represents that person should not have a stake in the running of things in the country. If a sitting president, for example, for any reason, interfere with electoral situations or break the laws or go into a system and then do not allow the people's will to come to materialization or to reality, and for any reason, whether in a minute way, whether in a massive rigging, whether it is manipulation, whether it is interference, whether it is even making a fair advantage for his political party, That is an undemocratic tendency. And all over the world, anybody that breaks democratic tenets and principles or practices would be labeled as an enemy. Like I said in one of my videos, it is an act of terrorism for anybody to interfere with a democratic practice or to steal, embezzle, or whatever name you want to call it, or take from government resources for the people. It is an act of terrorism, because when the people's will, democracy is being defined by Abraham Lincoln. They say that democracy is the government of the people, for the people, and by the people. These three principles, or these three triangles that democracy stand on, if for any reason there is a breach in any of these practices or any of these processes, then it's not democracy. Even if the person wants to be for the people, and the person wants to be of the people, if the person wasn't elected by the people, it is still a breach. It is still not democracy. So we must get to that point. I don't have a problem. See, moving forward, other consequences would be that we should delineate and ensure that the party of that representation should not be given chances to rule anymore. Because I am worried. I have lost hope, and it's unfortunate. But then I ask myself, so I'm going to sit back and allow a sitting president, allow the governor and his party to just use us, do mago finish, put a sitting governor tomorrow, and then tell the tribunal to go to sleep and interfere, and no, there should be consequences. So I encourage the people. That's why I want to say why I'm putting out my voice, because we will not allow this to happen without consequences. We may not be able to resort to violent conduct or anarchical resolutions, or break laws and order, or take laws into our hands, but there must be consequences for some of these things. There must be consequences for some of these things. And as such, we should not allow these guys to have a free day. We should not allow them to have a free will. I am tired of all these rhetorics of trying to encourage or find the embers of an ego of a man to say he is well, nobody is pressuring him. If he had rid the election, he will rid the tribunal. What we should be looking at for now, what will be the equal consequence of this action of usurping the entire will of the people? That should be what Edolites or Nigerians should be focusing on. The election in 2023 was rigged massively. No consequence. The people that rigged the election are still moving around this country, traveling about, and nobody has asked them anything. Elections, furthermore, around Nigeria is now being rigged. The Kogi election was a keen example, right? Look at what happened in Imo a few years ago, right? When the Supreme Court gave judgment for no reason, and then some of this judgment comes with very questionable tendency. Look at how the judge of the Supreme Court in the last presidential petition was sounding very biased, and as though that the coming to court was a problem for him, a judge, and there were no consequences. These guys are also, there must be consequences, and that's why I will keep my tabs on this particular situation. As much as I want the court to do the right thing, we must also tell ourselves what will be the consequences of some of these things. So let's stop all this. The president will not interfere. Is he supposed to interfere? And just in case this tribunal goes ahead, what we should be thinking is, what are the consequences of some of these actions that the APC has turned our country to a one-party system? Consequences, and I insist, consequences should arise. As we are hoping and praying that the court do the right thing, they usually do the right thing. Some of us should be writing down consequences for actions like this, and we should have actionable steps to ensure that we push these consequences to all the perpetrators of evil, because we cannot continue like this. May common sense lead us all. I'm out of here.